Hey there, Clay here, and just want to talk a little bit about looking at articles in preparation for Project 2 and Project 3. So I've got the Wayne State Library page up here, and I'm going to do a quick search. So let's say my research question is, how has, maybe that's like a nursing question. So how has organized labor affected the practice of nursing, if at all? So I'm gonna take some of my key terms here: nursing and organized labor. See what happens. I haven't tried this yet, so I'm going to go to articles. I'm going to view more results for articles on the left there, and maybe I did that quickly. I'm going to show you again. Can I go back? So we get articles, books and media, Wayne.edu search. I'm going to click on the articles here on the left, view more results. Then I'm going to get a bunch of articles, and I want to make sure that I've got full text online, scholarly and peer review. I've got journal articles selected. Okay. Discipline. I'm going to go with nursing. And publication date. I'm going to start with the last 12 months. Let's see what we get now. I've got 242 results. Let me take a look. Maybe I'll try medical personnel. I've got 33 results there. We'll see what we get. Maternity care, emotional labor, work-based learning, temporary working, I'm not sure if these results are giving me quite the issue I'm interested in, so maybe I'm going to change one of my search terms. I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to say nursing and unions. Let's try that. Let's see what happens with that. Nursing and unions, full text, peer review, journal articles, nursing, last 12 months. Yep, okay. Wrongdoing and whistleblowing in healthcare. Maybe that's interesting. Non-nursing tasks as experienced by nurses. That's interesting. A descriptive qualitative study. I'm going to go with I am interested in it seems to get it the thing I'm interested in maybe learning about labor in the nursing field. So let's try this article. Maybe this article might help me sort of refine my research question as well. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to look at the abstract here and make sure that this still feels like something I'm interested in. So this is definitely talking about the kind of work that nurses do. I think would be important. Describes the study and the findings a little bit. Okay. This seems like it would be interesting for me. So I decided I'm going to read it. There's some keywords here that I might, jot down. Looks like this study is in Italy, but that's okay. I'm going to start with, I'm going to take this article and move forward. So let's see. I want the PDF. I'm not familiar with this. Here it is. Here's the button. Both the PDF version. Okay. So here we get the abstract again at the top of the article. I'm going to scroll down. Here's the introduction. So as I read the introduction, I'm going to sort of take a look at all. So I know there's an introductory section. Somewhere around here, it's going to give you the main argument. A lot of these citations in here are just sort of like broad lit review kinds of stuff. Then this article is using a sort of a structure common in the sciences. So we're going to do introduction. We'll have methods. So it's to describe the method, the participants and setting. We've got here some of the data instruments, the interview questions, it looks like. Then we're going to talk about the data collection process, the analysis of the data. It's going to address rigor and trustworthiness. This is all still methods. Then ethical issues. Next, we're going to talk about the findings. Sometimes this is called results, analysis. So here we're going to, a total of 22 nurses participated. Here's their average age. And so we're going to start to get some of the findings from the interviews summarized for us. Looks like there's some quantitative data too. This is all description of the nurses. Looks like this is a being out of the nursing role. So it looks like this graphic here is describing some of the different work responsibilities nurses have, other than just like immediate healthcare work, outside of healthcare, inside of healthcare. Okay. Some more. We're still in the findings, consequences. And now we have discussion. This is going to talk about maybe how this relates to other things. So here, a little bit of summary here. We see these citations like here and here, and we see phrases like previous studies. So the discussion is going to start with a little bit of another lit review, and then it's going to transition to talk about their findings and how the findings relate to other research. So this discussion section is going to talk about what's important about what they found. What does it mean? How does it relate to other issues? I see nursing, education. Conclusions and implications should be the end of the article. This might talk about future research or training for nurses. Okay, and that's it. So now I've taken this quick look. I'm going to go back up and I'm going to look at so the next thing I'll do is I've read the abstract, trying to get the main argument of the article. I'm going to read the introduction. I would pay close attention to the last couple paragraphs. Here, the intent of this study was to explore the non-nursing tasks phenomenon, its antecedents and consequences according to the experience of nurses, in order to develop knowledge useful in highlighting its features and suggesting both professional and policy decisions. So they're trying to understand what the breakup between nursing and non-nursing tasks are. Okay. And its consequences according to the experience of nurses, trying to use this knowledge to suggest maybe changes both in sort of the professional and policy decisions about nursing. So I'm guessing policy decisions, I'm thinking it might mean like sort of oversight, administrative or governmental oversight of healthcare. Professional might be just how nurses do their work or professional training, professional standards. I'm going to go back down to the conclusion briefly before I read the middle part. Okay, so this looks like all this seems like, the argument here. Nurses are essential, and both of their roles are essential. It looks like the role is contingent, devoted to compensate lacks of the organization and to bring together the needs of patients and of trust. In their daily practice, nurses' functions seem to follow centrifugal trajectories to distract them from the nursing care core. Nurses occupy various non-nursing roles below, above, and horizontal to their competencies, both inside and outside of other healthcare professional spaces, mainly as a result of their felt moral obligation to offer the best to their patients, the organization's implicit obligations of nurses, and the effect of nursing education imprinting. Due to the increased awareness of nursing identity consequent to academic education, nurses have started to break their silence and to raise the problem. It seems like too much time doing administrative work. The right to work as a nurse suggests the need of redesigning organizational processes and settings, as well as interprofessional cooperation through professional and healthcare policies. So here you can see we're getting the argument here in the conclusion. So I'm going to look at the introduction and the conclusion, and now I feel like, all right, I have a sense of sort of what it's about, and I'm going to read the whole article and take notes on it at this point. And just be aware of those moments, like when we got to discussion, that, okay, this is all sort of, there's a mix here of literature review, of summarizing other ideas with the findings of this study. And so I might look at the end of that section, to see how it all connects. But as I read through, I'm going to try and be careful that I'm recognizing, these moments of, I don't know why I can't highlight down here, but these moments of summary. So I'll read the whole article then and just sort of like try to track section by section, what each section is saying and how it all fits to this overall argument that I get from the introduction and the conclusion. So anyway, so your article might look different, your sections might be labeled differently, but in general, for an academic article, the introduction and the conclusion are the two places to start to get a sense of that main argument. And this main argument here fits with the title, Non-Nursing Tasks as Experienced by Nurses, a Descriptive Qualitative Study. So, this is providing us a qualitative study. It's using interviews with nurses and I think other methods too. I can't recall now. So it's talking about these other nursing tasks from the perspective of nurses. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. Make sure, before you read through the middle of these articles, try to get a sense of the overall landscape of the terrain of the article, and use the intro and the conclusion to get a sense of what that main argument is. And then you can sort of keep that in the back of your head as you work your way through. And that should help you sort of figure out, like, what parts do you feel like you want to understand or know, what parts are not important. And it can also help you just sort of sift out the summary sections from the argument sections. Okay, well, good luck with your own articles, and we will work on those next week.